In a lively, small neighborhood nestled in the heart of a bustling town, lived a young boy named Zain. At just 11 years old, Zain had a dream that filled his heart with excitement and hope. He dreamed of becoming a professional soccer player. Every day was a new opportunity for him to get closer to his goal. The neighborhood field was Zain's playground. It was a modest, grassy area where children gathered to play, laugh, and enjoy their time. On any given afternoon, you'd find Zain and his friends there, running around energetically, playing soccer with unmatched enthusiasm. Zain was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. His love for the game was evident in every swift move and every powerful kick. Zain's passion for soccer was evident in his dedicated practice sessions. He spent hours perfecting his dribbling, honing his skills with intense focus. His room was a testament to his dream. The walls were adorned with posters of famous soccer players, heroes who inspired him every day. Zain would often gaze at these posters, envisioning himself as one of them, making incredible goals and leading his team to victory. As the sun began to set, Zain would return home, tired but filled with a sense of accomplishment. Dinner time was a family affair, and Zain's parents would listen as he animatedly talked about his day on the field. While they were supportive, there was a subtle concern in their voices. They knew the path Zain had chosen was challenging and uncertain. They wanted the best for him and hoped he would find balance between his passion and his responsibilities. Despite their concerns, Zain remained undeterred. He was determined to follow his dream and work hard for it. Early every morning, before the rest of the world woke up, Zain would be out in the garden practicing. Rain or shine, he would be there, perfecting his techniques. His dedication was unwavering, and he began to see improvements in his performance. He could feel himself growing stronger, faster, and more skilled with every practice session. One crisp, sunny afternoon, Zain made a decision that would change his life. He decided to visit the local soccer team's coach to discuss the possibility of joining their training sessions. He knew this was a crucial step towards realizing his dream. With a mix of excitement and nerves, Zain approached the coach's office, his heart racing with anticipation. The coach, a seasoned soccer player with a kind demeanor, welcomed Zain with a warm smile. Zain explained his passion for the sport and his desire to join the team. The coach, impressed by Zain's enthusiasm and dedication, agreed to give him a chance. This opportunity was a significant milestone for Zain, and he couldn't wait to get started. Returning home that evening, Zain shared the news with his parents. His eyes sparkled with joy and pride as he spoke about the chance he had been given. His parents, though still concerned about the challenges ahead, couldn't help but feel a deep sense of pride. They supported Zain wholeheartedly, knowing that his determination and hard work would guide him through. With renewed energy and excitement, Zain began preparing for his new journey. He knew the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but he was ready to face them head-on. His dream of becoming a professional soccer player was within reach, and he was more determined than ever to make it a reality. After receiving the opportunity to join the local soccer team, Zain's excitement knew no bounds. The day of his first official training session arrived, and Zain could hardly contain his enthusiasm. The sun was shining brightly as he set out for the soccer field, determined to make a great impression. As Zain approached the field, he noticed that it was bustling with activity. Young players were already practicing, running drills, and showing off their skills. The field, though familiar to Zain from his days of playing with friends, now seemed different, more serious and focused. Zain's heart raced as he met the coach, who greeted him with a warm smile. The coach introduced Zain to the rest of the team, and Zain felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. He was eager to prove himself and fit in with the group. The players, though initially curious about the new member, welcomed Zain and made him feel at ease. The first training session began with a series of warm-up exercises. Zain followed along diligently, stretching and jogging, determined to show his commitment. The coach then divided the team into groups for drills. Zain was placed in a group with some of the more experienced players. They practiced passing, dribbling, and shooting, each drill designed to sharpen their skills and enhance their teamwork. Despite his enthusiasm, Zain found the drills to be more challenging than he had anticipated. The weeks had flown by since Zain joined the local soccer team, and each day brought new lessons and opportunities. His initial excitement had evolved into a deeper dedication as he immersed himself in the demanding routine of training. Zain's progress was evident. He was becoming faster, more skilled, and more attuned to the dynamics of team play. Yet, the real test of his abilities was just around the corner. One bright morning, the coach gathered the team for a significant announcement. The local team was going to participate in the regional soccer tournament, a prestigious event that drew the best teams from the surrounding areas. The tournament was not only an opportunity to compete, but also a chance to showcase their skills on a larger stage. Zain's heart raced at the news. The idea of playing in such an important event filled him with excitement and a touch of apprehension. The coach explained that the tournament would be a test of their preparation and teamwork. It would involve several matches over a few days, with each game demanding peak performance. The players would need to be at their best, physically and mentally. Zain listened intently, absorbing every detail. He knew this was his moment to shine. Training intensified as the team geared up for the tournament. The sessions were now longer and more demanding, with a focus on strategy, endurance, and teamwork. The coach introduced advanced drills designed to simulate the pressure of tournament play. Zain found these drills challenging. The pace was quicker, the expectations higher, and the pressure greater. He struggled at times to keep up with the more experienced players, feeling the weight of the challenge pressing on him. One particularly grueling session involved high-intensity drills that tested both physical and mental endurance. The players were divided into groups for a series of sprints, tactical exercises, and simulated match scenarios. Zain found himself pushed to his limits. He was exhausted and frustrated, his performance not meeting his own standards. The coach's feedback was honest but constructive, pointing out areas where Zain needed to improve. Although the critique stung, Zain knew it was essential for his growth. During a brief break, Zain sat on the sidelines, feeling a mix of self-doubt and determination. His teammates, noticing his struggle, gathered around to offer support. They shared their own experiences of overcoming challenges and offered practical advice on how to improve. Their encouragement was a boost to Zain's morale. He realized that overcoming obstacles was a part of the journey, and he was not alone in facing them. At home, Zain's parents noticed his increased focus and occasional frustration. They could see how much he wanted to succeed and how hard he was working. One evening, after a particularly tough training session, Zain's father joined him in the garden as he practiced. Without saying much, he watched Zain intently. After a while, he spoke softly, offering words of encouragement and affirming Zain's progress. His father's support was a source of comfort and motivation, helping Zain to refocus and stay positive. The day of the tournament finally arrived. The local team assembled at the stadium, buzzing with a mixture of nerves and excitement. The stadium was a hive of activity, with teams from various regions warming up and preparing for their matches. Zain stood on the field, taking in the vibrant atmosphere, the roar of the crowd, the sight of the opposing team, and the enormity of the event were overwhelming. As the match began, Zain gave his all. The intensity of the game was palpable. The match was a roller coaster of emotions, with moments of triumph and setbacks. The final whistle blew, and the match ended. Zain's team had not secured a victory, but the experience had been invaluable. The regional tournament had been an eye-opener for Zain, a crucial experience that underscored the gap between his current abilities and the level required to compete with the best. Although he hadn't emerged victorious, the tournament fueled his determination, igniting a fire within him that pushed him to strive harder. With the tournament behind him, Zain returned to his daily routine, but something had shifted. He was no longer content with being good. He wanted to be great. In the weeks following the tournament, Zain's commitment to soccer deepened. He began to approach his training with a new level of intensity, driven by the lessons he had learned during the competition. Every morning, Zain would wake up early, lacing up his soccer boots before the sun had fully risen. He would head to the local field, where the cool morning air and the silence of dawn provided the perfect backdrop for his solo practice sessions. Zain's routine had become almost ritualistic. He would start with a series of warm-up exercises, stretching, and jogging to get his muscles ready. Then he would move on to dribbling drills, weaving between cones with precision and speed. His feet danced over the ball as he practiced quick turns, fakes, and changes of direction. Zain knew that ball control was the foundation of any great player's skill set, and he was determined to master it. After dribbling, Zain focused on his passing and shooting. He set up targets at different distances and practiced hitting them with pinpoint accuracy. Each time the ball struck its mark, a small sense of satisfaction welled up inside him. But Zain wasn't content with just practicing what he already knew. He sought to expand his repertoire. He studied videos of professional players, analyzing their techniques and trying to replicate their moves. He spent hours perfecting volleys, free kicks, and long-range shots, pushing himself to achieve the same level of finesse that he admired in the pros. Despite his dedication, Zain faced moments of frustration. There were days when his shots went wide, his passes were off, and his dribbling felt clumsy. On those days, Zain struggled to keep his spirits up. Doubt would creep into his mind, whispering that he wasn't good enough. But each time those thoughts surfaced, Zain would remember the tournament, the thrill of playing in front of a crowd, and the determination that had driven him to improve. He would take a deep breath, refocus, and push forward. One evening, after a particularly grueling practice, Zain sat on the field, his body aching with exhaustion. The sky above him was painted with the warm hues of sunset, and the air was filled with the sounds of crickets and distant traffic. As Zain sat there, catching his breath, he realized how much he had changed over the past few months. He was no longer the inexperienced boy who had joined the local team on a whim. He was becoming a serious athlete, driven by a clear goal. Zain's dedication did not go unnoticed. His coach, who had been keeping a close eye on his progress, saw the transformation in Zain's game. During team practices, Zain was faster, more confident, and more focused than ever before. His passes were crisper, his shots more accurate, and his decision-making had improved dramatically. The coach was impressed by Zain's growth and decided it was time to take things to the next level. One afternoon, after practice, the coach pulled Zain aside for a private conversation. Zain's heart raced as he wondered what the coach wanted to discuss. The coach began by praising Zain for his hard work and dedication. Zain's first day at the academy was both exhilarating and overwhelming. The facilities were impressive, and the level of talent around him was unlike anything he had ever encountered. Every player was skilled, driven, and fiercely competitive. Zain quickly realized that he was no longer the best on the field. In fact, he had to work harder than ever just to keep up. The training sessions were intense, pushing Zain to his physical and mental limits. The drills were faster, the expectations higher, and the coaches more demanding. Zain struggled at first, feeling the weight of the academy's reputation and the pressure to prove himself, but he refused to be discouraged. In the evenings, Zain would replay the day's training in his mind, analyzing his mistakes and figuring out how to improve. He knew that every challenge he faced was an opportunity to grow, to become the player he had always dreamed of being. As the weeks passed, Zain began to find his rhythm. He started to gain the respect of his teammates and coaches through his determination and relentless work ethic. Slowly but surely, he was finding his place at the academy, carving out a path towards his goal. But Zain knew that the journey was just beginning. The real test was yet to come, and he was ready to face it head-on, no matter the obstacles in his way. Months had passed since Zain first stepped into the academy, and the boy who had arrived filled with uncertainty had transformed into a player with focus, determination, and an unwavering drive. The academy had tested him in ways he had never imagined, pushing him to the brink physically and mentally. But through it all, Zain had persevered, fueled by his dream of becoming a professional soccer player. As the end of the season approached, the academy announced a crucial match, one that would determine which players would be recommended for professional trials. It was the moment Zain had been working toward, the opportunity to show how far he had come. The stakes were higher than ever, and Zain knew that this was his chance to make his dream a reality. The day of the match arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. The stands were filled with scouts, coaches, and fans eager to see the young talents in action. Zain could feel the tension in the air, but he had learned to channel his nerves into focus. This match wasn't just about winning. It was about proving to himself that he was capable of achieving his goals. As the game began, Zain's team quickly realized that their opponents were formidable. The pace was relentless, and every player on the field was giving their all. Zain knew he had to stay sharp, making quick decisions and executing his moves with precision. The game was intense, with both teams fighting for control of the ball, but Zain's hard work and training were evident in every step he took. Midway through the match, Zain found himself in a critical position. His team was on the attack, but the opposing defense was tight, blocking every attempt to score. Zain spotted an opening, a brief moment where he could make a difference. He took a deep breath, knowing this could be the turning point. With lightning speed, Zain dribbled past two defenders, using the skills he had honed over months of practice. He could hear the crowd's cheers, but he blocked out everything, focusing solely on the goal ahead. As he approached the penalty box, he saw the goalkeeper anticipating his shot. Zain knew he had to act fast and with precision. He feinted to the right, drawing the goalkeeper off balance, and with a swift movement, he struck the ball with his left foot. The ball soared through the air, curving just out of the goalkeeper's reach. Time seemed to slow as everyone watched, breathless, until the ball finally hit the back of the net. The stadium erupted in applause. Zain's teammates rushed to him, celebrating the goal that had given them the lead. But Zain didn't let the excitement distract him. He knew the game wasn't over yet. They still had to defend their lead until the final whistle. The last minutes of the match were a blur of activity. The opposing team launched a desperate counterattack, throwing everything they had at Zain's team. But Zain and his teammates held their ground, determined to secure the victory. Zain's legs were aching, his lungs burning, but he pushed through the pain, driven by the thought of what was at stake. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the referee blew the whistle. The match was over, and Zain's team had won. The realization hit Zain like a wave. He had done it. He had not only helped his team win, but had also proven that he belonged on this stage. As the players left the field, Zain noticed several scouts approaching his coach. They were discussing the match, nodding in Zain's direction. His heart raced as the coach called him over. The scouts introduced themselves, praising Zain's performance and expressing their interest in offering him a trial with a professional team.